and get my screen share going. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever, whenever that you may be tuning in. This is Yonks, and very excited to host our very first pre-launch conversation around We Own Pizza Club. And I will share here on the live stream for everybody the link. It's pretty simple at pizza.weown.club, and this is the Google Docs, and we're actually on the March 20th subtab here, and this is a templated agenda that we use for our live stream conversations. And let's see here. Oh, it's please enable channels. Oh, it's not letting me chat. Anyway, scrolling through the agenda, and I'll come back to our Feld culture here. But one of the things that I would like to do is, since this is our first pre-launch conversation, just do a quick introduction for the people that are on the conversation. And I'll kick off. Yonks love building radically transparent in public, self-identify as a Taoist, and for those people that aren't familiar, DAO, decentralized autonomous organization, and really want to create more opportunities for people. And one of the things that I really envision the investment club is a vehicle, quite literally, to help people invest. And one of the things that I've discovered and observed is how taboo it is culturally here in the United States to talk about money. And I'm not going to unpack some conspiracies, but we've had lots of conversations in the past around investment clubs. And from a technology standpoint, this is a great year from an inflection standpoint with account abstraction, AI agents, and all of that other sort of things to really make it easier to utilize technology to facilitate investment club dynamic. But I'm going to hand it over to Tyler, and if you could do a quick introduction and then kick it over to somebody else, that would be amazing.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tyler, aka Mrs. Yonks, and I'm one of the co-founders of everything that we're doing. So, quick backstory. I was a financial wholesaler and a private equity broker for 20 years. Took a little break to do some nonprofit fundraising and some other stuff, and got really interested in all the problems that we could solve with investment clubs and crypto, and opening up the capital stack to a lot more people who aren't traditionally on it because they just don't fit in banking's traditional model. So super excited to work with all you guys. And Evangeline, are you able to make an intro?
Yeah, I am an anachronism. I live in North Minnesota. I'm here because I have had this long talk with money for about 60 years. And I see what's going on right now is opening up a dialogue between money and people. And I have none of the technology, but I am working with someone who is a true digital native that I'm going to turn this on to me, because we've been looking for a vehicle to work with. Because I am part of something called the Monarch Economy, where in Minnesota, we're developing a bioregional ground up photon economy based on the milkweed plant. And we actually have a lot of investment in this already, and every other kind of investment but money. And so we're going to start asking our community to provide the money in a system, something like this. So I'm here to learn. Thanks for being here.
Okay, thank you, Evangeline. Scrimmy, are you able to introduce yourself?
Absolutely, GM. I am Scrimmy. I am the governance steward, general support, and a bit of a brand ambassador for Pizza DAO, I guess. But yeah, I'm here to learn as well, and I'm looking forward to hearing more.
Awesome. Thanks for being here. I am Lotus. Are you able to introduce yourself?
Happy time zones, everyone. Glad to see you all here. I am Lotus, has been working with the Yonks team, Tyler and Jason, for about 4 years. And we have many different projects. I myself is a serial entrepreneur, and a Web3 builder, and glad to be here and glad to see y'all. I'm also learning because this space changed so fast that you're a constant learner. If not, you'll be left behind. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Lotus, for everything you do for all of our projects in our community. And then, Ben, I know are you able to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Ben Burkholm, also based in Minnesota, just north of Minneapolis by about 20 minutes or so. Been in the Web3 space since 2020, building in the community space, specifically within the regenerative focus mindset. I've worked with several other large DAOs in the past. One more recognizable maybe is Klima DAO. Worked with them at their launch, helped them build out their community there. Since then, I've been diving into decentralized energy infrastructures, regenerative practices, regenerative living. Working right now with VDAO, focused on building regenerative network states. And yeah, just excited to be here and learn more about We Own Pizza Club.
Cool. Thanks, everybody. Glad you're all here. Jonks, back to you.
Thank you, Tyler, for facilitating the introduction. So let me get back to the screen share here, click off some things on the agenda real quick. And I will say too, absolutely loved. I participated for my first time in the VDAO community call today that Ben and Chris over at VDAO facilitated, and looking forward to collaborate. There's an immense amount of opportunity for collaboration around what we're doing, and we really are looking forward to doing that. And not going to go off on that tangent right now, since this is to talk about launching We Own Pizza Club. So checking off some things here off of our agenda. So why an investment club? So one of the reasons that talking about doing an investment club is we really see this as a vehicle to help people escape the poverty trap, because one of the things that is a real need, I think most of us that are here in the United States, and I don't know what it looks like globally, because I'm born an American and a flag waving patriot, but I think our financial institutions, even local banks, have really moved so far away from providing any sort of community service from an education standpoint that it's just so transactional. And I don't know if anybody else can self-identify, but out of necessity, Tyler and I have had more personal experience with, and I mean, we normally gravitate more to like credit unions, which by design are cooperatives, but even those are still so transactional. It doesn't really provide any sort of education. And, one of the problems, I mean, we're in the information age or whatever age that we're in, but I do want to share here what the SEC talks about, because this is one of the things that we're very intentional about creating, at least situations that we're personally involved in, compliant dynamics. So share this here on the Zoom for everybody. And if you could, I am Lotus, just confirm that the live stream is working. That would be fabulous. But investment clubs and the SEC. So there's not a whole lot of details on here. When does an investment club have to register with the SEC as an investment company? The club invests in securities. The club issues memberships interests that are securities. The club is not able to rely on an exclusion from the definition of an investment company. So, and then it's got these two bullet points: must not make nor propose to make a public offering of its securities, and must not have more than 100 members. So that's one of the things that we talked about. And really, I think the opportunity here with what we're doing is to really foster, and I love that there's strong representation here in Minnesota. Right now, Tyler and I are planning on being in Minneapolis for a Web3 culture convergence. And Unfortunately, our friend Liz TK wasn't able to be on to talk about that. We'll make sure that we have some more conversations. But in August, that's I think the 14th to the 16th is when we're planning to be there in Minneapolis. And one of the things that we would like to see is to have these really be hyper local, because that's one of the goals I think of an investment club is to hyper locally source deal flow, whether it's building out cooperative ownership of distributed energy resources. We believe that there's an immense opportunity around that. We really see this as a vehicle, and I know that this is some of the vision with Pizza DAO is to really create a vehicle for cooperative ownership of land. And then you think about like a pizzeria. I think it would be easy to argue that pizza is potentially the penultimate food delivery method. And in the VDAO ideas was talking about this collaboration as well, where here I can very well remember patroning a local pizza brew pub. And one of the more interesting ways that they were recycling or upcycling their spent grains from the beer was they were actually using that in the pizza crust recipe. So anyway, the investment clubs here, this is some of the things. And one of the things too, the way that we understand this is that all of the people in the investment club need to be actively participating in the decision making of the process of the investment club. Otherwise, that would be construed as a security, because then it would be more of a passive dynamic. And that's one of the things that we're looking forward to using tools, DAO tooling, to facilitate. So, one of the things, and I'm going to come back to the American Dream campaign here, but one of the things that we've been talking about, you think about helping people get out of the poverty trap. Here in the US, one of the situations is a IRA, an individual retirement arrangement. And we've been having some other conversations within our ecosystem about creating an on-chain, and we're calling it My IRA. And one of the things that we've committed to is to create a club edition that's a lower scale of what we're looking to create through myira.fund. So that's one of the things that I've got as an action item here is to create a Notion page. So one of the things to expectations, what it will look like to participate in an investment club. We're really wanting this to be one monthly meeting at an hour in length. And that's we'll likely continue for this club specifically using our Zoom and live stream format, because this, again, we're really wanting to create a playbook for how that other investment clubs can operate. And this is something that through our iLOCAL.fyi, which is an ecosystem, this is one of the things that we've put forward. And if you want to do a deeper dive, if you go to iLOCAL.fyi, those pre-launch conversations, it's an even more yieldy Google tab document. But like besides, and I'm going to go on a quick deviation here. Let me make this a little bit bigger for everybody on the other end. So we're with iLOCAL, we're wanting to create an open source two methodologies, the investment club here, and then a venture studio. And that's for different tier of capital. This is more to create investment club is more of a vehicle, like I said, for the people that don't have a bucket of assets. And then the venture studio is for people that do accredited investors. So we'll be facilitating those conversations on a regular basis. And the easiest way to subscribe is our event calendar. And I'm pretty sure that that's how everybody came in to this event. Yep, right here, we're in this event. So anyway, going back to one monthly meeting, and again, the goal is to make this as requirements as possible. We actually used Meet With for convening this. And let me actually show Meet With because we're having a side conversation. This is another Web3 tool. Has anybody, just out of curiosity, has anybody else used Meet With here that's on the conversation today?
Just for this.
Nice. Oh, look, and here is this conversation. So this is one that I actually facilitated. Meet With is being incubated over at R&Dow. Not going to unpack R&Dow, but this is where I was going to share the We Own Pizza Club group. And click in here. I'm going to share this link with everybody on the Zoom. Because this is what we'll use in depending on what the availability is. I mean, today's March 20th. I don't know if I want to commit to doing a conversation on 420, but it may be fun. But I'll take a look here that week. In April, I don't think that I've got any travel planned in that week of April, but I'll have to double check. But we'll look at doing our next calendar there. And here's what it looks like for everybody here. So I see Time is joined. So, and I welcome Time. I don't know if you wanted to do a quick intro for yourself, but if you don't open your mic, I'll assume not. So anyway, this is how that we're going to be coordinating our future one, and we should have quite a bit more infrastructure in place. And this is one of the things here talking about our tech stack. One of the things that we're planning to implement is account abstraction, commonly referred to as AA. And I'm not sure if anybody's seen the account abstraction, but one of the things that I shared in our Telegram, and actually, let me talk about that here real quick as well. So, I just mentioned Telegram, and anybody that knows me, I have been very vocal about my disdain of Discord and Telegram. And I know Pizza Dow has a very deeply invested dynamic with the setup that Pizza Dow operates within Discord. But one of the observations that I've made is that neither of those platforms do a great job protecting normal people from scammers and spammers, and they're very noisy. So one of the things that we're going to be using for our community is Common Ground. And let me actually just go there because I created here under We Own, you can see a pizza club. So let me throw in the link. I'd encourage everybody to join. Common Ground, I think, is also joining the R&Dow ecosystem, but that's from what I understand. So, and I'm going to say hello from our live stream. Here's the link to replay. And I'll just throw this in here real quick because that's one of the things that I love doing is just making some worthwhile contributions. All right. Send. And let me throw this. Let me see if I got my restream working again. I'm going to do a refresh on this. Well, I see it working there. So let's see if I get the join our Common Ground community. And one of the things that was pretty cool that I just saw in Common Ground was going to their homepage. And for people that aren't familiar, this is actually a progressive web app. This is just viewing it natively in the browser, but I got to give some kudos to the Common Ground team. It's really like such a beautiful progressive web app. Mobile experience is absolutely phenomenal, and the ethos is also very aligned with the cooperative ownership. Not going to unpack all of that, but one of the things that I'm excited to explore is a plugin. So it'll be interesting to see. This is something that the Common Ground team literally just announced here a couple days ago. And one of the things too, if anybody wants to put forward ideas around tooling that we can use, because again, the vision with what we're looking to do is really to create a playbook, some templated stuff that makes it very easy for other club members. And this is one of the things that I actually want to talk about here is club leadership. And this is something that we don't have to make any decision on. And let's see, best practice. I'm going to actually put this under best practices right here. Club leadership, club leadership. Who would like to raise their hand and be in a leadership role? And this is something that I would graciously not facilitate all of the conversations, and we really need best practices as president, secretary, and treasurer. And this is best practices also from a legal standpoint, because this is one of the things that we love to geek out on the legal aspects. So, legal aspects, planning to use Wyoming unincorporated, can't spell. Fortunately, there's correction here. Nonprofit association. And similarly, I'm not sure if anybody has unpacked the decentralized unincorporated nonprofit association, but Wyoming is unquestionably the leader here in the United States as far as their stance regarding digital assets and all of that. They're planning to launch their own Wyoming stablecoin here soon. It'll be interesting to see what that looks like. But and just so that people know that there's really a threshold behind the UNA. It's less than 100, and if you have more than 100 people, then you can become a decentralized unincorporated nonprofit association. And obviously, with the threshold on the SEC, must not have more than 100 members. So the DUNA is not an option for us. So this is one of the things that we need to create. We need to create a governing principles. And again, this is one of the documents and best, or we're going to call it established practices. And just for fun, we all love our acronyms. We'll call this our GPEP document. So this will be like you think about organization, whether it's a bylaws or operating agreement. So here for what we're doing, it's going to be our governing principles and established practices. So this is something that we'll have for our next conversation. And I'm going to create an action item here for myself. Create a Google Docs template to begin drafting this document. All right, so there's some things. Does anybody want to chime in on some of the best practices that we just talked about? Club leadership, legal aspects, governing principles, any of that stuff? So I'm going to take no open mic, nothing in the Zoom chat, and I'm not seeing anything on the live stream. If anybody has any questions from the live stream, feel free to ask. Tyler and I, before we came on the live stream, we had a conversation around KYC. And this is something that for this club, we definitely want to implement a KYC. One of the decisions that we need to make, and let me actually add this as a section, decision that we need to make, non-US citizens as a question. And that's something that we can incorporate into our, and I'm going to just put this here as a allow, only US citizens yes or no. And this is something that we can think about between now and next month's conversation. And as far as KYC, we are engaged already within our ecosystem to use Synapse.io. And so that you're to understand how that we came to one of these short lists is that we're planning to use, and I'm going to open this in an incognito, Charmverse. Has anybody else used Charmverse in any of their journeys, adventures surrounding DAOs?
Yes.
See, yes from time. So this is a tool that we're going to use. Charmverse actually has, and let me see here. Let me actually just go to collab.ai agents dot box. AI agents is kind of like a sister community for AI or for iLOCAL.fyi. And this is a landing page that we have. And let me actually add this to TechStack Charmverse .io. And coming back to bring that full circle with the KYC, and let me actually just go ahead and log in here. So this is what it looks like to join the Charmverse space, and we'll have some similar workflow for our conversation. One of the things that I'll do here today is actually create a credential using Unlock Protocol to facilitate the participation. But let me go ahead and connect here. I'm still using MetaMask with Yonks.eth. So this is what it looks like. And let me see if it actually shows the settings, integrations, KYC. And the reason that we shortlisted Synapse or Persona, and we had a conversation with both Synapse and Persona, and we felt that Synapse was a better fit with our focus on crypto. So anyway, that's kind of a why. I'm not sure what this workflow looks like. This is again something that we can experiment. We have not actually done any integration or used this feature within Charmverse as far as the KYC. So this is another thing that we, as within We Own Pizza Club, just to set the bar for experimentation. This is really where we want the experimentation to happen, so that we can again really get a playbook for other people, so that they can launch their own local investment club. So anyway, does anybody want to put forward any tools that I haven't discussed here? And this will be this will be our primary club portal for documentation, knowledge base, member directory, etc. And I'll put a link in here for our common ground. But covered a lot of stuff here for our first conversation. Does anybody have any thoughts as far as stuff that we've covered? Let me actually add expectations. Club members must participate in voting, governance. The other thing too, for this club, we're wanting to do $100 a month capital contribution, and this is planning to use We Own. We Own is our plan for superfluid pure super token, and this is something that we're hoping we'll have deployed. Superfluid Finance just recently pivoted to .org, and this is where we're looking to have. And you think about $100 a month contribution. The value proposition of Superfluid is that we're planning to stream that in a contribution of We Own. We Own is a network token that we're really looking to do for whenever value is exchanged, and kind of what we're looking the vision to around this club is that this can be a mechanism for vetting and getting a peer-reviewed process for vetting deal flow on and since We Own Pizza Club is, potentially a global dynamic, that's one of the things to come back to, a decision that we need to make, allow only US citizens, yes or no. And whether we want that to be a global dynamic, I think that there's more regulations if we did look outside to allow, but anyway, Superfluid is where we can, instead of doing $100 a month and then $100 the next month, and just that, we will stream it, and then the goal is for that to just be going. And then, like whenever we come to a decision around when it's time to vote on a P token asset, like one of the opportunities that we're looking forward of pipelining. Region Village here in North Denver. This is a opportunity that Tyler and I are currently under contract for. We're looking to build a 5-story apartment building, but the first opportunity of cooperative ownership will be in the land token that we're going to create. One of the other situations that we're planning to put forward, and let me actually just copy this. Let me make a link here. Copy link. Discussing. Let's see. Discussing some of the P token. And P token is a truncation for property token assets we intend to pipeline via this investment club in 2025. See this Google Docs. So that's on the goals subtab. So over here on the goals subtab, these are some of the P token assets I just talked about. Region Village at East Lake. For those of you, I don't know if there's anybody on that made it to our barbecue party. We at our place here in North Denver and North Glen, we turned our place into a pop-up hacker house. We're actually planning, and I'm going to abstract away the AI agents because the hacker house can facilitate any dynamic, but that's one that we're planning to have some great conversations around. And one that I'm going to actually add to the list here is Minnesota. I'm going to actually throw it up here as We Own Hacker House in Minneapolis. Minneapolis. What's the big university there in Minneapolis? Somebody help me out.
U of M.
U of M?
There's 7 there's St. Thomas University, there's St. Catherine's University. There's several. There's
Several. Well, see that this means that we need several opportunities. And one of the things why that this is again an immediate opportunity is, and I'm going to put a comment over here. Yonk's team is planning to be in Minneapolis for Culture Convergence, I think is what that's called, August 14th to 16th, 2025. So the opportunity to get a deal pipelined that we could, have, because one of the things that we're like thinking of the hacker house, most of the situations will likely have a 3 token aspect, a land token, a building token, and an energy token. And I think all of us can appreciate decentralizing some of the power away from quite literally power companies that haven't invested well with their wealth, that they've been government entitled utilities, and through amazing legislation like community solar, we can basically become a next generation virtual power plant, and Minnesota has the most favorable community solar regulations.
Can I say something here?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Okay, in Minneapolis, Augsburg College is actually been the seat of Eleanor Ostrom's work there. A lot of commenting stuff goes on there. And then the other one thing is in University of Minnesota, Duluth, Catherine Milan there has a it's an energy project that they've had there, solar energy project that goes along with your lines. They probably would have the kind of brain power to cooperate with you. I'm going to send
Yeah.
a link to your information here, so I'll just do that.
Yeah, no, that would be fabulous, because the more that we can just foster collaboration, the quicker that we're going to capitalize these sorts of situations. And the nice thing about this Hacker House model is, depending on what the cost of a single family house is, it's not too hard to get the capital for acquiring. And we want things to be on chain as much as possible, but there's lots of traditional capital mechanisms, and that's one of the things that we really want to get great at, is just to create a model that can be replicated. And that's kind of going back to the goal here of iLOCAL, is to create templates and playbooks. And the more that we can create a proven model, the sooner that a capital will flow in, whether it's through an investment club mechanic or a venture studio. And this is something that we're personally going to be deploying capital through our venture studios model. And one of the things that's conversational is around CDFIs. We absolutely know that Doge and the Trump administration is uh, kind of taking some network state, burn it down and rebuild it sort of dynamics. And it'll be interesting to see what happens regarding some of those more traditional capital mechanisms. But absolutely added the tidbits. Thank you so much for that, Evangeline, and looking forward to having more conversations, because the better that we can do bringing together models. Oh, and look, that's actually one of the things. Let me see, because I don't know if I had that on here that I might have skipped over, but I did, and this was kind of going back to the American dream. Let me actually bring up our tokenomics wheel, because this is one of the things through the American Dream campaign that we're going to basically be promoting is a We Own Network bundle. And coming back real quick, I'm going to add this before I forget, is safe multi-sig. Need to create one. And this is something that I may do between now and our next, because we're wanting to start promoting this We Own Network bundle. And this is one of the ways that we're going to slice this $47 when somebody onboards. Because one of the things, I'm not sure what it's going to cost for a club to be a viable dynamic, because we really want to minimize the cost from a maintenance fee or club membership fee. And right now, thinking maybe $47, if it could be lower, I would prefer it to be lower, because that's still $4 a month. And when you think about $100 a month, $4 is still about a 4% fee on that capital. So anyway, but this is one of the things that we're looking to do for slicing this We Own Network bundle. And this is something that we're wanting to, again, create a mechanism. And the thoughts around this is to create a huge value proposition in this bundle dynamic, where it really creates a no-brainer, and the thing that we're really looking to add in a most immediate value is the first benefit that somebody will be able to enjoy with their bundle is a on-chain boot camp, where we're looking to host a 2-hour, basically think of an onboarding dynamic, where we really get to talk about some of the value propositions that we're looking to do through a cooperative ownership model. And as you can see, this tokenomics wheel is geared very heavily for marketing and then for the people. So most of this money is actually going to the people, whether they're promoting the We Own Network or they're facilitating. And I'm expecting most of the time the event host will primarily be the affiliate in this dynamic. So this is one of the things that's in an experimental mode that we're going to be having conversations through the we own or through the American Dream campaign, and that's a separate conversation opportunity. But always want to be respectful of everybody's time. I'm going to stop talking, stop doing the share, and anybody can chime in some closing thoughts. But I feel very good with going through all that we did here today. But anyway, I'm going on mute and let anybody else chime in some final thoughts.
My final, when I said I'm an acronym, and I am. And the thing is, where does the legal tender and the Bitcoin crossover happen? And that's the thing that I know for myself in my intention from being here and working with some people in my system. We will have people who want to invest in what we want to have them invest in, but they will be confused about the Bitcoin, the crossover.
Well, I don't think that we're actually going to be having any conversations surrounding Bitcoin, quite honestly, because the goal here with this is to onboard a stable coin such as USDC, and then I mentioned we own. So when somebody has in their wallet, and this is one of the things from a technical standpoint that we're looking to use account abstraction. Not exactly sure what that's going to look like for somebody to onboard and join, but this is one of the things that we're really wanting to streamline from a technology because we want to reduce friction as much as possible. So I don't know I can't tell you what that's going to look like today. But we're really wanting this to be not about cryptocurrencies. We're really wanting this to be an investment club for real world
I
assets.
understand what you're saying, but I'm just saying that will be an issue.
It could be, and that's one that you know I yeah, and this is where we can create, whether it's using some documentation around education, because I would absolutely consider one of the things that we want to do, and this is the value proposition of, because the goal here is to create a network effect surrounding decentralized hyperlocal investment clubs. So the more that we can, get feedback from people and then improve the process as far as onboarding and education and the opportunity to facilitate conversations where we can, because when you think about having a 1 hour a month meeting, the opportunity to potentially have a 15-minute slice of that to have a subject matter expert talk about a particular topic that's of interest to our members of our investment club, then that's absolutely things that we would love to facilitate.
Thank you.
I saw Scrimmy had a mic open. Go ahead, Scrimmy.
Hey, just wanted to say this was a great call, and thanks for having me. I learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to learning more at the next call.
Love you being here, and looking forward to continuing to make this as easy as possible, because I know the more that we can reduce friction around some of these topics, the easier it will be to really create vehicles to bring and proliferate cooperative ownership.
Yes, let's go.
All right. I don't see anybody else opening up a mic. On that note, thanks everybody, and make sure that you subscribe. I'll send out a follow-up and should get a credential of this conversation using Unlock Protocol. That's one of the action items that I have. But until next time, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.